Welcome everybody to the big show. Today we're going to talk about, you got the technicians, how do you retain them? And it's probably a little bit different than what you think, but some great insights for you that are proven and will work. Also, I have some astrology news.
Hot off the presses astrology news.
Yeah. And I unveil Christian's birthday gift to me, and much, much more coming up on this edition of Service Drive Revolution. So, my birthday came and went. Ask me what I did for my birthday.
What did you do for your birthday?
Nothing. It was great.
So we have a tradition amongst
Don't talk about my birthday.
Well, that is one of the traditions. So one of the traditions is that we don't talk about Chris's birthday, and sometimes he'll try to alter space and time so that it doesn't happen, which he didn't do this year that I know of.
Oh, fly to Europe?
Yeah. But we also have a tradition.
So just for anybody who doesn't want to have their birthday, if you leave LA around 11 at night, you land late the next day. You can completely miss.
You make a day disappear.
So your birthday never actually happened. So hypothetically, you're not older.
Yeah. So I wake up pretty early in the morning, and one of the first things I did is I texted Chris happy birthday just on the side. And then for 4 hours, I thought about whether or not I would participate in the tradition of, we usually like to do a happy birthday group text with the team. And I literally for 4 hours sat there and thought, should I do this or should I not do this? Because I know how you feel about your birthday.
But you didn't, right?
Oh, no, I did it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I never saw it.
It would be the 38 text that said, happy birthday, Chris, if you go back through and look.
Got a little overwhelming.
Yeah. So tell me how the day was, because I also tried not to bother you.
Yeah, so I was going to, so we had plans to go to Cut for dinner, but then the morning of, I went to my favorite bookstore for a little while. Then I just wanted to write some more. So I just wrote and ordered, I don't even know what we ordered, takeout, but I really just wrote. I'm really trying to finish this book.
Isn't that about a way you would have picked to spend your birthday? That sounds about right.
Yeah.
You treated it like any other day. So
I wrote all day Friday. I wrote all day Saturday and part of Sunday. People think that you can just take 3 months off and write a book, but you really end up writing it on the weekends and in the evenings and all that. But it's getting close. It's good. I'm excited. Well, there's no book like this. Yeah. This has never happened before.
I haven't seen actual manuscripts, but even the outlines are fascinating. In the approach to it and everything.
You know how I know the book's going to be successful?
Because you put your heart and soul into it?
No, that's not enough. I mean, there's a lot of There's a lot of
people that have put their heart and soul into it.
There's a lot of kids that resemble you that want to be a point guard in the NBA. And they work really hard. Guess what?
They don't make it.
Yeah.
Point taken. That's great. So how do you know the book's going to be?
You don't have any idea how I know? Let's come back to that then.
Okay.
Because you did give me a really cool Christmas gift.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
You said you would try it with me.
This is a birthday gift, not a Christmas gift.
People always ask when they come here for an event or something, and they're always like, what is that tequila? I can't find it anywhere. Well, somehow, Christian found one that I've never seen before that is reposado, and it's a green bottle. It's absolutely gorgeous. If you're listening to this, I'm sorry, but if you pull up this episode on YouTube, you can see the bottle. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's Dos Artes. This is my favorite tequila, and the only time Christian will drink is if I order Camus wine.
Yes, that's time number one.
Or he buys me a bottle and he wants to try it.
That's right.
So But this is great. What did you find this online or
Oh, so I've got
find it in a-
I've now got a Dos Artes connection.
is it up here at Ramirez or whatever?
No, it's called Frank's. You ever been to Frank's before?
See these fancy ice cubes?
Yes.
We have fancy ice cubes in the library.
Beautiful.
Maybe I overpoured you there. I'm sorry.
That's about my annual limit.
Okay, so here's how I know that the book is going to be a hit. And I have this vibe already. Is maybe you don't know her, but they do the cleaning
Norma?
here and at my house. Norma's daughter.
Okay.
Have you ever met her?
No.
So I guess she's into astrology and numbers. And she, for my birthday, I don't know how she knew it was my birthday, but she did my numbers. And it said that it was gonna be exciting.
So the universe has decided for you.
The numbers, I think. And I don't know that I believe in that stuff, but if it says good things are gonna happen, I believe in it.
I
I believe in it.
Cheers to the new book.
Cheers. That is really good, Christian. Even for a non-drinker like yourself, it's pretty good.
I would say that for a non-drinker, I'm pretty good at picking out booze.
You want to know what this little guy is? Were you here when I was in here doing this?
I was working. I was in. Yeah.
Yeah, but you were here, right?
Yeah.
So we are going to bottle our own run of tequila. The way that it works is there's a tequila brand that will on the side sell a bottle or a barrel. You buy the barrel and then they bottle it for you.
Okay.
And then we're going to make boxes and put them in it. But
How many bottles approximately is a barrel?
so because there's two variables to that. One is what do you want the alcohol content to be? So this little sip I'm going to give you right now, this is the one that we picked. This is 55% alcohol. So if you want it to be 42, you get about 250 bottles. But if you want it to stay at that, then it's going to be less.
Is 55% 110 proof? Is that how the proof thing works?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
Try that.
Okay.
So what they did is they pulled samples from different barrels, and then I got to pick. It's got a lot of vanilla in it. And think about cigars, even though you don't smoke cigars.
Well, I smell wood.
Yeah. So
This
that
is a
one,
little bit like a wine thing where you can see what the heck there's stuff going on in here, right?
so that was aged in a bourbon barrel that's charred.
The burn's on the front, I think.
Yeah. Middle because it's 55, right?
Okay.
So that burn would come more to the middle if we made it a 42, which I want it to be a 42.
God, I love the wood, whatever.
Yeah, it's
so it
great.
reminds me of a bourbon,
And
actually.
it's very boutique-y, right?
Wow. That's really cool.
Yeah, there's no tequila out there that tastes like that.
Yeah.
And somebody who was into bourbon would love that.
Yeah. It
Because
tastes
it's on the fence.
Yep. It tastes more like bourbon than tequila. That's really awesome.
I'm excited to have our own bottle because one thing too is in this instant, right? So Derek has been in our coaching for how long?
More than 2 years, I think.
And so Derek Smith just made elite after 2 years. Went through tons of changes, doubling down, lots of hard work. And would you describe it as an evolution?
Yeah, it was an evolution for sure that took longer to ramp up. And his goal from the day that I met him, from the day that you met him, was that he wanted to get to our elite in 6 months. And at the 6-month level, it was really clear that that in order for him to get to the elite goal, he was going to have to make some really, really tough decisions about personnel, the way that they did business, everything like that. And he struggled with that for a really, really long time. And it's funny how the thing that happened with Derek is the same that happens in the people that make it in 90 days, is that they just decide that it's time and they just do it. And my favorite thing about this, so the thing that Derek, that was keeping him out of the elite group was winning our fantasy football league, the top dog competition. So it took him 24 months to win his first one. And guess how long it took him to win his second one?
No time at all.
He repeated.
Back
it was
to
like
back,
once,
which is really hard to do.
Yeah, and it was almost like once he unlocked a code, and then all of a sudden success wasn't as far away as what he thought it was. And I think he would tell you that he would go back again and do all the stuff way faster, and he would have the same results just faster.
And if you are not familiar with our coaching group or with our program, we have an elite group, which there's certain, when you come into our coaching, there's certain benchmarks you have to hit. The hardest one of all the benchmarks to hit is winning our competition, where your advisors compete against other advisors. Then there's a net to gross and a CSI element to it. And he did it. So congratulations, Derek. We're really proud of you. We had our elite call this morning, and
It went really
it
well.
was really fun.
It was good.
Introducing him to everybody, but it's good. Okay, what's in the news, Christian?
So this thing. Super appropriate that we're about to do this while we... Hold on, let me have another sip to kill you. So you would tell me the burn's on the back on this, but I don't even feel a burn. It's just so smooth. So there was a bill passed into place at the end of last year that they're going to require manufacturers to make vehicles starting in 2026 that can detect impaired drivers. So the drunk driver detection technology that will take over your car is what this article says. But essentially, it's going to use like camera technology, and then just some other technology that's going to detect like blood alcohol content in the breath, I think. And then on the camera technology, what it's looking for is the eye bounce, that like when a police officer says go left or right or whatever, I guess there's some sort of involuntary bounce that happens in your eye, and the car would reserve the right to shut itself down. So I wanted to ask what your thoughts were of that. I don't know if mine will be the exact same.
I'm going to tell you my thoughts on that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Part of me thinks that it's an overreach, and then part of me is like, well, if it saves somebody's life, I guess. And then I don't know. There's the element of, if I'm tired, is it going to say that? You know, like I don't know. I don't know enough about it, I guess. But it definitely is. Big Brother's watching. Like, that's one thing about the Tesla that I think is hilarious, is they can see it. They know everything you do, and they can see. They can see in the car, around the car, like.
Yeah, they have a ridiculous amount of data that shows that anytime there's an accident, it's 99.999% user
But they can
error.
see it. They're watching you on the camera. So did you ever, when you were younger, like let's say between the ages of 16 and 18, did you ever park a car somewhere with a lady friend?
Yes.
You can't do that anymore.
Not without a bunch of duct tape.
How do you know where all the cameras are?
You wouldn't.
They got the special Elon camera that you don't know where it is.
Right. Could you imagine that?
I don't think kids do that anymore, but that was a very favorable experience.
Where
when
do
I was
they go
younger.
then?
I don't know. I don't talk to kids about that.
Oh, yeah, it's probably not appropriate, I suppose, at the end of the day, but
We got them. How do we keep them? That's the subject.
it's a great subject.
We went out. We did all the work. We got them. How do we keep them?
And what, pray tell, are we talking about getting and keeping?
What?
We got who? We got what?
Technicians.
Technicians. The Holy Grail.
We were talking about this morning on a call, and the subject was brought up about how many baby boomers are like 2 years away from retiring in the shop.
Way more people than there are 2 years out of high school working in the shop.
Right.
It is tilted heavily.
So it's going to get harder, not easier,
That's right.
to find technicians and retain them. Okay, so just like stream of consciousness, because it's not going to be one thing. There's no miracle pill here that you're going to do one thing and it's going to work out. It's going to be a bunch of things well executed and constantly evolving that's going to get you there. Mm-hmm. So embrace the complexity, right?
And then convince everyone else that it's impossible.
Okay. This won't be the most important one, but it is one to think about. Is you got to have a pricing strategy and advisors in place and understand how to be able to have a profitable business and pay the most. I don't know how many times you do a strategy session and people still have an ELR under $100.
More often than it ever should be.
And they're losing technicians, and they can't imagine paying somebody $40 an hour. But you have to have the capacity to be competitive, not be the one reacting and playing from behind. And most of the industry is playing from behind.
That's right. It's so funny in those cases where the ELR is under 100, you'd be shocked at how many times they think they're paying 30, they're really paying 55 on a $98 effective labor rate.
Yeah.
I
would not be shocked. And disappointed.
Yeah, it could be better.
But perception and reality are quite a ways apart.
Yeah.
And then what do most of the managers in that situation that don't understand how to execute a pricing strategy and a system that produces the results that they need, they say, I got to cut expenses.
Yeah. Or I need more traffic. But cut expenses. I got to really maintain or control my expenses this year.
I've fixed hundreds of service departments, and never once have I cut one into profitability.
It's just not possible.
No.
Did you know that before you came into my store that was our thing? Did I ever tell you that?
Sorry.
Like, we had meetings every month about cutting expenses from a really smart general manager too.
Yeah.
But every month I had to make just the most heart-wrenching decisions on personnel. And then you came in and it was so great because it was like, no, you need more. and we're like, oh, okay. And then it got better really fast.
It would still happen today, right? You go into a service department, they're losing money, they're laying off everybody that they can. They don't have any porters. No, they stopped washing customers' cars. They're cutting back all of these things, and they're booked out for weeks.
Yep.
And so you come in and you're like, okay, well, we want to bring some people in,
and they're like,
we're gonna hire 10 techs,
no.
and can we hire all those people back? Like, yeah, but it's they just don't understand what they don't know. But so the first thing is you got to have the ability to pay more. And what that is dependent on market, brand, all of that. Then the next thing is, I think you got to change your relationship with the shop. I think you got to look at your technicians as friends, people you communicate with, people that have a say and are involved in the overall plan, not just the guys in the back doing a job. They're another number on an RO. And the only time we deal with them is when they have a comeback or they're in trouble.
Yeah. The technicians are one group of employees where I would say that what their perception is and what the reality is are both just as important. Like the fact that maybe it isn't what they think it is way less important than how they perceive it. So the thought that they're the mushrooms growing in the back and nobody pays attention to them or anything like that, if that's how they feel, even if it's not true, you have got to control that narrative. I love that thought of like their friends back there.
Then the other thing to kind of add on to that is you got to start having activities at events, like getting a box at a baseball game, having a barbecue at a park, or just different things where they can bring their family and their kids. They can take pictures and be proud of what's going on. But you have to start doing things as added value outside of just work. It's got to be more than work. It's got to be a family and a lifestyle.
Yeah, something that they wouldn't get anywhere else they go. Like, I think that's the thing you're trying to do, is keep them from selling you out for $3 an hour, right? At the end of the day, those are the things that it's hard for them to put a price on. Is the feeling of inclusion.
I think really what I'm trying to say is you're going to pay them the $3, maybe pay them $4. And you're going to do all this stuff.
Okay, so
I don't think that we understand that if it's hard for us right now, you might as well quit, because it's about to get a lot harder.
Okay.
And it's not one thing, it's a bunch of things.
Yeah.
So you might have to pay them $5 more, and you might have to have a Christmas bonus plan. You might have to upgrade your facilities, your lunchroom, all of that. But
yeah.
you need to look at it from your point of view, right?
Okay, so would you say a really good strategy would be, no matter what, lead the market in compensation?
I would just say it a little different, and I would say have the ability to.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't know that I don't know that I want people to think that way, in the sense that oftentimes there's competition that's so bad and nobody wants to work there that they're paying people crazy amounts of money with crazy signing bonuses to come there, and they leave after 90 days even though it paid more, because it's such a terrible place to work, right? Mm-hmm. And so if you do all the other stuff, I don't know that you're going to lose somebody over $3, but be able to not lose somebody over $3.
Okay, that makes sense.
If you do the other stuff, that's going to happen way less, but you got to be able to. Like, how many times do we hear that somebody walked for $2? Come on.
Yeah, but I usually find that that's not the real reason. It's just the excuse. They say
somewhere
but
in the middle is the truth.
Yeah, that's fair.
But we don't want it to be over $2 or $3.
Right.
I mean, sometimes we'll let them leave just to leave because they're not a fit.
Yeah, I want the choice to be mine, not theirs.
Yeah, but it's got to be more of a family and not just a job. If it's just a job, then it's just a paycheck and it's just an hourly rate.
Mm-hmm. You know what's interesting is that I think that if there was a position in the company that had the most to do with tech satisfaction, it's owner and GM. Service manager for sure should have a great relationship with the techs, but I can't tell you how many stores I've been in where the first thing when I go and I meet the techs is they'll be like, oh yeah, the owner comes through and says hi to everybody, knows everybody's names.
Oh yeah. Parks in the back, walks through the shop. I hear that all the time.
Yeah, that's kind of a next level leadership thing. If there's any dealer principals listening to this thinking about how do I keep techs, you have a vote in that. All you have to do is just change your path to your office.
Another one is training. Like, I don't know how many times I hear the narrative of, well, we're not sending them to training because they're just going to quit anyways.
We're too busy. Yep.
The last time we sent somebody to training, they quit. You have to train them. Like, there's just no way around it. It's a cost of doing business.
Mm-hmm.
And it also is like, it is a retention tool if you do it right. You got to play games and make it fun. You got to have contests and, like, think about the stuff you're doing around here, right? Like, I don't know. I come in today and all of a sudden everybody's trying to get me to sign up for a 10K because you got everybody here thinking that they're going to beat you in a 10K.
They might. They're young kids.
Yeah. Are you guys doing it for money?
Oh, I never thought about that, but we can. That's a great idea.
Yeah, so you got to do stuff like that where it's not just about gamification in the sense of upsells or hours flagged or things like that, but getting in shape, right? Things like running a 10K or Tough Mudder, stuff that is bonding and makes it more than just a job.
Yeah, so that in particular, I'm really excited to hang out with those guys and do that thing. The sense of accomplishment with them, I'm going to be super proud of them when it's done. But yeah, that's a really good example of something you can do. I've got a lot of stores that are doing top golf nights, but I think the family thing is a huge, what you said there, but any sort of a game that can get them into something out of the work like that would be a lot of fun. Whirly ball, I've seen them do that before. Bowling nights, there's so many great things that you can do, but a lot of the stores make it reward based on how many hours the shop produces, or if there's a record month or something like that. That's when they try to do those activities. So they want to attach that to performance at the same time.
Yeah, having like a summer event where the families come to a water park or a lake or something like that. And then the other thing that's fun too is to have food trucks come. Like one thing I used to do was a hamburger eating contest. We'd have In-N-Out Burgers truck come, and then each department would pick a delegate, or I don't know, their person,
their eater.
And it was always somebody from parts or service that would win, but sales would try. But people talk about that stuff, and it's fun, and it's you got to think about how the world is changing in the sense that I live in Hollywood next to a boutique that is pink, and all day long tour buses are dropping people off to take their picture there because it's a known selfie place, and they're doing it just to take their picture. Like, your employees want to take their picture with cool stuff. They want their families to be able to do that. They want things that are shareable. You have to start thinking about it that way.
Yeah, that's great.
Any other ones you want to add?
No, I was thinking about way back when I was in Orlando. We had a sister store, and my shop foreman Roberto arranged a softball game between the two stores, and they talked about it for 6 months.
Oh yeah,
that was so much fun.
Anything outside of work like that where they're having fun,
and it was families. Some of the kids were playing in the game and everything like that.
Vicky's techs used to do online, like Halo or something.
Yeah,
but they loved it.
Halo is a shooter game?
Think so.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, have the ability to pay whatever you need to pay. Treat them like family. Think of things outside of work to do. Make them involved in the process, the decisions. They're more than just technicians. You have to enlist their abilities beyond just that to get buy-in. They have to know that they matter. They're not just a number in an RO, on an RO, right?
Yeah.
And training and play games.
Make a tough job fun is always highly encouraged.
Well, happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday, sir.
Do you know Jesus was a Capricorn?
I didn't know that.
It's a song by Chris Christopherson.
I do like Chris Christopherson. I just don't know a lot of his songs.
I'll look that song up.
I will.
Jesus was a Capricorn.
That's funny.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time on Service Drive Revolution. Thanks so much for watching this episode of Service Drive Revolution. We're uploading new stuff every day, so make sure you subscribe and click the bell icon so you don't miss out. If you have a question you'd like us to answer on the show, call 8333-ASK-SDR and we'll answer your question on the show. That's 8333-ASK-SDR. For special deals on our books and training, head over to offers.chriscollinsinc.com. Now that's offers.chriscollinsinc.com. I'm Chris Collins, and I'll see you in the next video.